Football, we need to talk. Some of the biggest stars at this World Cup have looked strangely ordinary. Injuries, pressure, tactical confusion and costly errors have stripped away what normally makes them great. These are 7 brilliant players who so far look completely lost. Ready? Let's get into it. At number 7, we start with Allison. This one is not about saying Alisson suddenly became a bad goalkeeper. At Liverpool, he saves chances that already look like goals. But for Brazil, shots he normally deals with kept finding a way past him. The first warning came against Morocco. Lucas Paquetá lost the ball, Brazil's centre-backs were caught flat-footed and Ismail Saibari ran through. Alisson charged from his line, got his timing completely wrong and was calmly chipped on. For a goalkeeper famous for staying big in one-on-ones, it was a very un-Alisson moment. He still produced an excellent late double save against Morocco, but that rescue only underlined how avoidable the opening goal had been. That contrast was striking. Then came Norway. Erling Haaland scored twice late on. Neither goal was a clear howler, but Brazil needed one of those impossible Alisson saves and did not get it. At the other end, Ørjan Nyland saved Bruno Guimaraes' penalty and changed the match. Alisson was not Brazil's biggest problem, but he conceded goals that the very best version of Alisson often prevents. Brazil needed a superhero. This time, they only got a very good goalkeeper. At number 6, Lamine Yamal. Before the tournament, Yamal was not merely described as a talented teenager. He was discussed as one of the players who could own the entire World Cup alongside Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland. Now compare them. Mbappe and Haaland have 7 goals each. Yamal has 1 against Saudi Arabia. Yes, he's not known as a prolific goal scorer, but still, he has not imposed himself at their level. Against Portugal, he met Nuno Mendes again, and once again Mendes made him look human. He matched Yamal's pace, blocked the route inside and forced him into shots from poor positions. Then, Mendes went off injured in the second half. That should have been Yamal's moment. Instead, Spain needed Mikel Merino's stoppage time winner. To be fair, Yamal arrived with a hamstring problem, but together with Pedri, his Barcelona teammate and usually one of Spain's most reliable controllers, they have looked below their own standard. Now comes the real test. Belgium are next. Win that, and Spain could meet France or Morocco in the semi-final. Yamal still has time to change this entire conversation. But compared with the other pre-tournament superstars, he is the one still waiting for his defining performance. At number 5, Jordan Ayew. Ayew arrived as Ghana's captain, leader and qualification hero. He produced 7 goals and 7 assists during qualifying, but at the tournament he looked lost. Was he Ghana's striker, creator, target man, pressing leader or set-piece taker? He tried to be everything and rarely looked dangerous enough in any one role. The crucial failure came against Colombia in the round of 32. Ghana failed to register a single shot on target, not one. Ayew dropped deep, but Ghana needed him to turn possession into a clear chance. Antoine Semenyo looked more explosive, while the younger players provided more movement. This was 90 minutes in which Ghana's attacking leader could not make the goalkeeper work. Ayew's intelligence remained valuable, but the World Cup exposed how much physical sharpness he has lost. At number 4, Rafinha. This one is partly about poor performance and partly about terrible luck. Rafinha arrived after another outstanding Barcelona season, where his pressing, movement and output made him one of Europe's most dangerous forwards. But Brazil never saw that version for long. He injured his hamstring against Haiti and missed the next 3 matches. While he recovered, 19-year-old Ryan brought fresh energy and made a serious claim for his position. By the time Rafinha returned against Norway, Brazil went out before he could re-establish himself, and his absence exposed a wider identity crisis. Casemiro was supposed to give Brazil control, but the midfield kept opening during transitions. Neymar returned as the emotional center of the team, but his late penalty against Norway came when Brazil were already 2 goals behind. At number 3, Vitinha. At Paris Saint-Germain, Vitinha controls matches as though he has a remote, but with Portugal he became an easy scapegoat for a midfield that never functioned. And he was not alone. His PSG partner João Neves failed to reproduce their club chemistry. Bruno Fernandes arrived after being named Premier League Player of the Season, yet never looked like the player who dominated England. After the elimination against Spain, Portugal legend Ricardo Quaresma confronted Ruben Dias in a heated interview about Portugal's failure. Quaresma said the midfield had been extremely weak and argued that Portugal spent too long keeping possession instead of attacking forward or using Rafael Leão in one-on-one situations. Dias pushed back, insisting that playing well also means patience, efficiency and balance, and that reckless football only leaves a team chasing the ball. That exchange summed up Portugal perfectly. Vitinha recycled possession without enough penetration. João Neves brought energy without controlling matches. Bruno searched for ambitious passes but rarely dictated the game. Against Spain, Portugal protected the match instead of taking it over, even after Marino ran through the centre and scored. Portugal made three best of the best midfielders at the club level this season look ordinary. And the question is, how come? At number 2, Federico Valverde. Valverde did not arrive at the World Cup in peace. He finished Real Madrid's poor trophyless season surrounded by controversy. There had already been tension with Xabi Alonso over his role, especially the debate about playing at right back. Then came the training ground bust-up with Aurelian Tchouameni. Valverde fell, struck his head and needed stitches. He later apologised, but it was a chaotic ending to an already disappointing campaign. The World Cup was supposed to reset everything. Uruguay expected the real Valverde, the runner, leader and midfield machine who solves problems everywhere. Instead, the conflict followed him. Uruguay drew with Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde. Before the decisive game against Spain, Valverde and other senior players reportedly held a tense meeting with Marcelo Bielsa over the physical demands of training and the team's tactical approach. Then Bielsa substituted Valverde after an hour because, in his words, he wanted more presence in attack. Valverde left frustrated, Uruguay went out without a win, and another relationship with a demanding coach ended in tension. Different team, similar story. And at number 1, Florian Wirtz. Germany arrived with Wirtz and Jamal Musiala, two players expected to define their next generation. Instead, Germany made both look like pieces from different puzzles. Against Paraguay, Musiala was left out and Wirtz was pushed left, away from his best central spaces. Germany attacked a low block without enough width, speed or clarity. Wirtz did create the equaliser with a cross for Kai Havertz, but Germany's plan became increasingly desperate. They attempted 55 crosses, the most by any team in a World Cup knockout match since detailed records began, and only 10 found a teammate. A team containing one of football's most intelligent creators reduced itself to repeatedly throwing the ball into the box. Musiala eventually came on. Wirtz kept searching for pockets. But Germany never found a structure that made either man the true attacking leader. Wirtz was substituted before the penalty shootout and Germany went home. That is why he is number 1. Germany did not lack talent, they lacked an identity, and nobody looked more misplaced inside that confusion than the player supposed to become their creative heartbeat. And there you have it, 7 brilliant players who have looked lost at this World Cup. This does not mean they are suddenly bad. Alisson made one damaging decision. Yamal and Rafinha carried injury problems. Valverde and Wirtz were trapped inside teams with deeper issues. But the World Cup does not care about explanations. It gives you a few matches, one crucial moment, and almost no time to fix what goes wrong. So, who has disappointed you most? Drop the name in the comments, hit like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.